you'd like to contact the show, send us an email at liveonfourlegspodcast@gmail.com or get involved in the conversation on social media. Join the Pearl Jam Podcast community group on Facebook or follow us on Twitter at liveonfourlegspod.
And away we go.
You're listening to Live on Four Legs, the definitive live Pearl Jam podcast, featuring
Mr. Stone Gossard. Gentlemen. Mama Queen. Matt fucking Cameron in the drum. Mr. Boom Gasper. You can call me Al, you can call me Ed, you just fucking call me, why don't you?
Hey everybody now, welcome to Live on Four Legs, a definitive live Pearl Jam podcast. This week is a special episode because you are seeing our faces again. If you're only listening to this, then maybe you want to take a second and hit that pause button to make sure that you get to see us because you're not going to want to miss this. This is a very special watch along episode as we continue on the chronology series. 2011 is the year that we're doing here. And, you know, there's a lot of different directions that you can do for 2011. Obviously, the thing that people always go back to with this year is PJ20. But a long time ago, we had covered PJ20. We had to do it specially. I believe it was like the 10-year anniversary of it. And when we covered it like 4 or 5 years ago at this point, a long time ago, but we did a good job. So if you want to go and check out that episode, it's available for you. I believe I complained about, my coffee and how I take it and how Wisconsin was not very supportive of taking coffee with milk. I don't know why, but I'm going back to Wisconsin later this summer. So we'll see if that all stands. But anyway, there's that direction. There's also the direction of the Canadian tour that they did, kind of close to 2005, but a little bit trimmed down. You don't have a lot of the same smaller towns like Thunder Bay and Kitchener and St. John's and Halifax and those places, but you do have the big ones, Edmonton, Vancouver, on and on and on. And then you have the South American tour, and we have yet to do a South American show on this chronology series because we decided to do Canada for 2005, and that leads way to what we're doing today. The visuals of seeing a show in Rio de Janeiro are breathtaking. Seeing the crowd feels like there are miles and miles and miles of people that you can witness just intaking the show. So excited to see this band. It's special for them. And I'm not saying that because it's not special for us in the States. It's not special for European crowds. It's special for them because this band really does not have a lot of time down there. So you get one show in Rio, and those people in Rio, they go down, they enjoy the show, and they have to wait years and years and years before the band is coming back. I mean, at that point, it was 2013, 2015, 2018, but still, it feels like light years ago to where it stands right now. And the last time they were even in South America. My friend over here, he can talk about that more because he is well versed in everything South American shows. So why don't we get right to it? And then we can watch a little bit of the show. So I'll explain. We are going to watch the full thing from front to back, no stopping. Yeah. So it's ambitious. We've done it before on a much smaller scale with one of the Oakland shows from 1997 and the AOL sessions that they did back in 2006. But this is a 2.5 hour show. That's why I tell everybody here, make sure you're watching on video. It will be a long one. Randy Sobel's over here. Javier Herbas is over there. And like I said, if you want somebody that understands the South American crowd, the South American shows, go no further.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said something about like the time length where like fans have to wait because I think that's one of the biggest things that people feel like they need to see the band live again. The South American crowd got lucky because after '05, well, you have that gap till the show that we're going or the run that we're going to be talking to in this episode. But then it was 2011, 2013. Uh, but then you started to have like little bigger gaps. And that's where the fans are just like eagerly waiting for the band to come back. There's a lot of rumors right now. There's a lot of stuff going out there in social media. We're not going to address those. We don't have
Until
any
the
info.
band says it, it ain't true,
Right.
right?
Right. I even read somewhere a couple of days ago they already have a new drummer and all that kind of stuff, and I'm like, who knows?
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a thing. And it's not only with Pearl Jam. It's just music. People are so passionate about music down there, and it's it's like a celebration. It's something that you just gather with friends and you go and enjoy, which is the same thing that you do here in the United States. But there's something, I don't know, hard to explain. It's just I get it because I'm from there, but it's something that you have to live at least once. I always tell everybody, and I always try to recommend just if you have the opportunity to experience a show in South America for a band that you really really like, go and enjoy it because it's a different thing. And I think what we're going to witness now is it's super exciting. The band came down. I remember on the premise they're like, okay, we're celebrating 20 years. It's PJ 20, so that kind of started to fed up the myth of okay, now we're gonna have the documentary. We're gonna have the band playing live, and it's even though that it's a communal thing that you are like with so many people around you that you really want to enjoy the band, it becomes more a celebration to honor the band's career too. And the crowd felt very included because just the fact that the band decided to include South America in the run for celebrating their 20 years, it made like all the countries in South America feel like very, very grateful. And each show that you have the opportunity to see, there's always something special. Each crowd is different, but the passion is very, very palpable. Like wherever you go, you know?
That's the really important thing that I take away from South American crowds is that they just feel like they owe a debt of gratitude to not just Pearl Jam, but any band that goes down there because it does feel so far away. You know, you go down to Australia, and when you go down to Australia, the first time they went was 1995.
Hmm.
And it feels like there is a connection there. It feels like the grunge movement has happened there, but I think it was largely ignored because I think that maybe we in the States just had no idea how actually big it was
Right.
because we were so focused on everything else. So when you find out, and obviously we've said it before, the relationship between Ed and Johnny Ramone and the Ramones' popularity down in places like Brazil, Argentina, and Chile, that helped made Ed and the rest of the guys want to go down there and say it needs to happen because there are fans. There absolutely are fans, and we're going to witness something like we have never seen before. I honestly think that going down there is just a massive ego boost to them because
Yeah.
they can literally do anything and it would get the kind of reaction. Like, I feel like, the quote about Stone saying, I just want to play all the hits, these South American shows to him, because they can go out there and just do just that. I feel like he
Hmm.
loves it based off of that because everything is bound to have a reaction. So it's unique. It's really unique. I think, fans from anywhere, when you're in the States and it's like, okay, here's a tour this year, and the next year you have a little tour, and the next year you have a little tour, you get a little jaded because you're like, oh, well, they did the same thing at this show and they did that. And I was hoping for this and I haven't seen this. And like, it's not actually about the music for some people anymore. It's about chases. It's about,
Hmm.
you know, and it's good things. It's okay to have that. But for these crowds, it is simply we want to hear and feel what this band is putting out there every single night. And as you know, it's nothing short of amazing. I do want to talk about 2011 just for a second, and we have a lot of time to watch this. Neither of us have done notes for this, which is amazing. Kind of going to it fresh. Both of us have watched this show before. It's been a while since I've seen it, and I think you were saying the same.
Hmm.
But it'll be really fun to kind of discover things. But we'll have a lot of time for conversations, whether it be anecdotes, whether it be some humor, whatever. We'll have a lot of time for that. But I think when we're doing the chronology series, I think one of the things that we do have to talk about is the 20th anniversary, the documentary, and how actually massive it was for this band to kind of be put in that spotlight. I mean, you're going through the rubble in the 90s, and the 90s feels at that point like it was went and gone. And there was less nostalgia about the 1990s as there is now. I feel like once you hit 30 years, people start to think something is cool. Do you remember like in the 90s, people really thought the 60s were kind of cool again? You
Yeah.
remember that?
60s,
Like
70s. Yeah.
like it was kind of cool to listen to the oldie station, and the Beatles and the Stones were kind of cool, at least to me. Like I saw the 60s as like a movement, and the 90s were kind of the same thing in a way, and especially music wise, is that so many great artists came out of that time period, and a lot of them just disappeared. And when dig through the rubble and you get through things and you're like, okay, well, I can't find Alice in Chains, I can't find Nirvana, but here I found Pearl Jam, and they're still going, they're still kicking, and it's been 20 years. And now they're finally getting to tell their story. I mean, I remember seeing that documentary for the first time, and I guess at the time I thought, oh man, I probably know so much about this band. I've read so much, and then you watch the documentary, you're like,
You
I,
didn't know anything.
I didn't know anything. But like, I think a lot of people consider themselves to be Pearl Jam experts because they watch that, and
Right.
I totally get that. I totally get it.
Yeah, it's an amazing source of info. One of the things that I really like about the documentary and the way that it's put together is it really gives you the notion that actually the art was coming from the streets. It was just like a movement
Yeah,
that it was happening, that it was being spread out, and because of a connection of a party, somebody met this player and the other player and the other player, which is something that is kind of it's hard to understand for people nowadays because now we have so many different connections. We have social media, we have the internet, we have it's easier to just to share stuff right now. Like you can do it in your room, you can do it in your in your mini studio. You can be out there like sharing your art. Before it was just trying to get as many flyers as you could for people that were not your friends go to see your band, and
right.
then you just see somebody like your friend's band, you know.
Hmm.
And I think Cameron Crowe did such a really good job reflecting that, but also took the time to tell the band's story, honoring everybody who came before them. That's extremely important as well.
Absolutely.
Uh, but at the same time, like separating spaces for each one of the band members to also tell their side of the story in a way that they were affected by Pearl Jam or they were affecting Pearl Jam. I I remember it that when I saw it the first time, it was just one of those things where like, wow, this is cool. Like this is the first dibs that we ever have where the band is actually opening the archives and they're showing us like that there's so many more things that we didn't know or footage that we never thought that it existed, but it
Right.
was some like loose out there, you know?
In a way, it was kind of like weirdly either a sequel or like a spin-off of the documentary Hype, because
Mm-hmm.
Hype was really about Seattle and they didn't focus too much on Pearl Jam's side of it. I mean, I think they talked about Andy Wood and a little bit of what that spurned, but a lot of it was Kurt Cobain, a lot of it was about the U-Men and Mudhoney, I believe. But I
Yeah.
think like taking that happened in Hype and like starting it with like this was what the Seattle scene was, and without the Seattle scene, and I'm not saying like, oh, the headquarters of grunge or whatever. It was like you were saying, legitimately all friends out there that all went and supported each other. Without that, you don't have this band and their trajectory the way it is. Like if it was LA, if they started in LA, could have been completely different for them. They could have spent 3 or 4 years having to pay their dues, but everybody saw it as Jeff and Stone already paid all their dues. So even
Mm-hmm.
though Ed was considered Seattle rookie and Mike had been, yeah, out of bands for a long time, they were still seen as, okay, you got kind of a shit end of the stick with what happened with Mother Love Bone, and you were about to have your moment. Well, now you're being granted your moment and everybody's there to support you. It was bigger than I think we even think because of that, because everybody wanted it so badly for Jeff and Stone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
everybody wanted that for them. Yeah,
mhm.
that's a really good point. Um, and I think the other thing that is kind of important, you were going back to talking about hype and how it really connects with PJ20.
Yeah.
I will say the third part was released last summer, that is the Sonics documentary.
Oh,
That's kind of like a third intro part because it has so
yeah.
many connections that people don't know. So if you haven't seen it, just I
I've
encourage you just to go watch it.
I have not, and that's the Sonics, the band, not the Sonics, the basketball team.
Yeah, no, the band,
Just
the band.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah. Just want to
yeah.
clarify there. Okay, well, look, I think we are ready to watch a full show here.
Hmm.
So get your popcorn ready. If you're at work, then, hopefully you are taking the time to kind of looking over your screen a little bit. If you're at home, hopefully this is on your big screen. If you're on the road, if you're on a train traveling, then just sit by your phone and just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the conversation, because we have no idea what's about to come. Here it is, Rio de Janeiro, 2011. Here we go. As we see PJ20, this was, I think, ripped from one of those bootlegged DVDs
Hmm. Oh,
that.
there were so many for the runs of '05 and
Mm-hmm.
11 everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
What was the name of the software? Torrents.
Yep.
You,
Yeah,
you,
it
you
was
had to
definitely.
download like by parts and multiple sources and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, well, best intro song ever though.
Metamorphosis too. And they're
Yeah,
doing it right. We talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago, where sometimes in Metamorphosis 2, they just come out and they don't let it blossom, or at least with that version,
right.
but you gotta let the piano do its thing.
Yeah.
Little. And there they are. That backdrop, I mean, used the whole tour, and I think used for the next year with the speakers and everything like that. That kind of defines the look of this era.
I mean, they do recycle a lot of stuff, there's nothing wrong with that. Because it's more important just to talk about the music, not the lights or anything like
Sure.
that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been kind of like, I think the underwear screen was a bold choice, but
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they decided to do it after all these years,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. So
Fun
Unthought
fact for
Known is
you.
kicking off the show.
Yeah. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Unthought Known opened in Santiago 2011 too,
Oh, hey now.
and that was a huge surprise for everybody that night.
Shall I check the numbers on this? Give you some statistics.
Yeah.
This is one of 6 times that it's opened a show. And
I've
you
seen
were
once.
You were at, so have I. I saw it in Hartford. They opened
Yeah.
with it in 2010.
And I mentioned this before too, but like the radio playing that Unthought Known had in South America was huge. It was one of those songs where people were feeling really connected with. Just Breathe was another one, like out of the later era. But a lot of people got familiar with the band, or they just decided to get a ticket for this run because of those 2 specific tracks that they were like highly played and highly like rotated in radio stations.
It's so interesting, like what songs will stick in what locations. Because Unthought Known, I don't think ever played on radio in the States.
Yeah.
And if anything played, it was Fixer, Got Some, and then Just Breathe. But I think Just Breathe kind of had some like, after the album kind of popularity a little bit. Like I think it kind of grew into that instead of like gaining radio momentum, because radio, when Backstreets Are Out, was like just starting to die a slow, painful death. Like it was the beginning of the death of radio. And now we're like, there almost is no radio.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. Because like, yeah, it's funny like the impact how certain songs. It's funny like how certain songs have that impact. So I remember when I was way younger too. No, it was not Just Breathe. Last Kiss. Highly played, a highly rotated song. And so many cover bands, so many pretty shitty bands that I had to watch in my teen years playing that song, and they could not get it right. Jesus.
Everybody and their mother knew that song. I mean, it was popular everywhere. And even when I wasn't really like into Pearl Jam, people still talked about it. And I'm like, I don't like that song.
Yeah.
I don't think, even from the time I'm like, I don't think it defines Pearl Jam. And I don't think it should be made to define them.
Yeah.
But already they got something kind of cooking with this here. It's how do you feel about like soaring songs as openers like this?
Depends on the crowd. I think that the crowd is going to be the best gauge for something like this. South America, something like this, definitely works. Some other places, I don't know. You might have a really dive down thing where people are like, oh, they're opening with this.
Do you think it works for festivals?
I do.
I tend to agree, especially for this era. I don't think it's going to work anymore,
Yeah.
or it's just not going to be used anymore. But
Yeah.
Yeah, this era where the song is kind of in its wheelhouse, it's popular. You don't want to do it now where it doesn't have the same,
The same
vocal
range.
power. Yeah.
Yeah, and the 1-2 punch was heavily utilized in this run. Like there was a lot of like Unth Unknown into, in this case, Last Exit, Unth Unknown into Why Go. I think there was another like Releasing to Save You. So that kind of like slow burner, but like go to the mattresses kind of thing right after the first song. It was something that they were really utilizing, like for this run. A lot of Into the Wild tracks too in that run.
Oh yeah, definitely setting forth because that was debuted at PJ20. So absolutely, I am gonna check this up. Like I said, I'll do stat heavy stuff since we can kind of produce ourselves here. So there was one other occasion where Unthought Known led way into Last Exit, and that was Isle of Wight Festival in 2012.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
Again, I think Unthought Known was the opener going into Last Exit, but I am going to take a guess to say the third song from this Isle of Wight show is not the third song that we're about to get, and I don't want to spoil that for people who aren't looking at this album. It is absolutely not.
Okay.
It's a good one, but
yeah, I don't remember the set at all, so I don't know what's coming.
I don't remember about like later in the show, but I hope we get more crowd shots because it does feel like it's kind of from deep within the crowd. And you don't see the pit.
Yeah. You
But
can hear it though. You can hear the crowd reacting
Easily.
in the official mix, which is great.
That sounds terrific.
We have a really good close-up of the turkey. By Stone moving back and forth.
All right, you ready? You ready? What's gonna be next? What's gonna be next?
Okay.
Yeah, not the quintessential number 3 song.
Okay, now you brought a really cool memory because when my buddies and I were like going through set lists and all that stuff, I remember that we read this and everybody got that like mother.
Well, this is a common structure for South America where they go out and use a song like this really early. I think they've been known to play Rearview Mirror like second or third in the set. My favorite South American show, 2013 Buenos Aires, I think is releasing Even Flow into Lucan. Maybe
Yes.
there's Animal before Lucan or something like that, but like,
Yes.
yeah. That crowd is singing along and like, doing all the vocal harmonies for the guitar parts and everything like that. And I feel like they did Lucan to be like, haha, you guys can't do this one.
Yeah. 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 It would be like, oh,
Can't sing it.
Oh, yeah.
Can't sing it.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. But also, Randy, it's whenever these guys start, whatever they're gonna start the run, they have the tendency to first like a little bit more like cautious the first couple of shows. Later on the end, like it's always towards Brazil or Mexico City or around that area, like south to north, and that's when like they really get loose. Like you can see more stuff like that showing up. I mean, but there's always exceptions. Like I remember the night one opening the run, we had Crop Duster, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Oh, it definitely sounds like he's exhausting
Yeah.
himself here. Because why not? If they got the energy, they see the crowd, and they're like, I'm sure that was something Ed thought of beforehand. Like, let's punch him in the face.
Yeah.
The only disappointing, because like I would say like 98% of the South American shows have all been outside in soccer stadiums. I think there was the one at the, what was it, like the Movie Star Arena or something like that. Is that
2018. That was the only sideshow when they did the festival run in 2018. Yep.
it is disappointing that, you know, unlike in America where you can literally be on the rail and touch them if you want to, that it's too big where there is a little bit of space in between, because I'm sure if they were level with the crowd like that, first of all, I don't think they would have limbs. I think they would rip them from limb to limb. But secondly, he would probably fall into that crowd, and you know, every single time, because the sound takes you in. You know?
Yeah, and the other thing that I remember about this run, and now that I'm like, we're watching and we're listening to this, they sound thick, and they sound like very, very dirty, which is something that I like, because I think it reflects like the band that they were trying to be at that point. They were very frontal. They were like going around things or circle around things. They were just like, okay, we're just gonna go and punch you in your face like right away.
I will give one spoiler to the set list. The one song that is not here was very popular in 2011. Was very popular in South America in 2011. It does not complete the show. What song am I thinking? Specifically South America.
It has to be Just Breathe.
No.
No.
Olay. Olay bullshit. None of this Olay bullshit.
Yeah. And I feel bad for them, because I remember when they play it. No, wait, I was not present. But like hearing stories, it always seemed to me that they were trying to create that connection with the chants and the stadium and the soccer vibe, and honestly, nobody was like, all right, sure, whatever. This is not what we do.
Can't force feed it.
Yeah.
They should know that better than anybody.
Mike using a Jet Pro for a corduroy. That's interesting. A guitar that actually is a Gretsch.
So wait. He's literally playing a Gretsch on this?
Yeah, he's playing a Gretsch. Not the guitar that looks like a Gretsch. Is actually a Gretsch.
I'm like not hearing a sound that I would typically think I would hear from a Gretsch, though. I wonder why
that's a very good point. When you push a Gretsch with like a dirty amp, like it sounds like a Les Paul. Like if you really know how to drive it. Yeah, because those pickups where...
shot.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Oh, baby.
What was the location for this? Was this at Sambódromo or was like in a stadium?
Apoteos. Apoteose. Apotesi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like a
The
venue.
Brazilian
Okay,
guys will kill me right now. This is like,
yeah.
how dare you not pronounce our venue?
I need to look this. I need to look this.
Stone and Ed. I will say this is edited together really, really well. Probably just taking
Plaza.
from the wall fan.
Plaza da Apoteosi. That's the name of the place.
Was that
Yeah,
close?
Plaza.
I don't think
Yeah,
it was.
Plaza da Apoteosi. Yeah. It's like it's a venue. All the rest are stadiums. Yeah.
Apple Tiosi. Got it. This is why I'm not involved in the South American spin-off podcast. last time. Can you speak Portuguese?
A few words, and I understand a few. But yeah, I mean, there are things that are like the same. But Apoteosi, if my memory is right, it's a venue where I think that they had like car races and stuff like that. I think.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, but they're huge venues. Yeah.
it seems circular. I don't know why I
hmm
think that, but it seems circular. Let's see what it
And
has
I
to say
wonder what
here.
was the. Okay, let's hear this.
If you can translate.
Oi, galera!
Randy, I don't know if you can edit this later, but there's like sometimes the audio goes away. I can't listen to it.
Oh yeah, I'll take care of it.
Okay.
Sambódromo. Oi. Eu lembro daqui muito bem.
He's like,
Anything?
I'm seeing here, like, and I can see you very, very, very clear. I couldn't hear that.
Yeah. It was probably like you sound good or something like that.
Yeah, because the audio's chopping for me
Oh, that's weird. I don't know why.
from the show. Yeah.
Hope that doesn't like ruin things for you. Is it really bad or?
No, I can hear now, but it's kind of when the volume drops, I can't hear very much.
Got it. Well, that's what happens when you're doing a watch along like this. You get the full on conversation down. Don't have to edit this out
Yeah.
because it's in the middle of a song. Or not skipping the song.
A guitar that I really wish that it could have used more often. I don't know why it got pulled out of rotation, but Mike in 2011, 2013, he was really digging into Firebirds, which is an amazing instrument. And yeah, it kind of like faded away.
Sounds like from my right ear, I'm hearing Stone a little bit like his guitar has like a little bit of a wah sound on it.
No, it's the air. It's the air of the recording moving.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I wasn't going to bring this up until later because I think it happened in Do the Evolution, but I was talking to somebody who went to the show once and said it was so loud in here that he was able to see like the sound waves. You know what I
That's
mean?
cool. Yeah.
I couldn't imagine what that would be like to experience that, but I don't think you're experiencing that. You know, even in a place that gets loud like Philly or Madison Square Garden.
Yeah. No, like they push it, especially open environments. I mean, you still have regulations that you need to follow, right? But it's they really push it to the limit. And I think given to Fly right now, it's this year is a happy medium. It's not very slow. It's not very fast. It's still a little bit more on the faster side, but less than yeah, but it's a little less than the other ones that we were talking in a few episodes ago.
But there's fast and there's rushed.
Right.
And if you can play this and not sound like you're trying to scramble through it, and I don't think this version has that. I think this version just felt like it was just upbeat and up tempo. I'm fine with that. But if it's just like fast and scrambled and felt like you were rushing through it, then I'm like not into it as much.
Yeah.
It needs to develop. I don't know how many more times I'm going to have to say that on this podcast before people believe me, but maybe 2 or 3 more times. Who knows? Obrigado, I know that one.
It means thank you if you didn't know that.
Got it. Check. Stone's favorite Pearl Jam song, as we've learned recently.
Yes, I have not had the chance to watch that YouTube thing yet, but I'm hopefully during the weekend.
Same. I've only seen, like, the viral clips, I suppose.
Yeah. Although when there were 5 songs, right? I was not surprised when he said "Life Wasted." I'm like, in the way that he enjoys when they play that song live, it has to be one of his favorites.
Yeah.
Such a good riff, though. Such a good riff.
I'm happy you picked Hill Hill.
Yeah.
So, I'll let you kind of dictate whether or not this is true, but in 2011, outside of Argentina, we don't really have the crowds do the full-on melody for the guitar parts of every single song, right?
Yeah, I would say that it's a little bit more. It's definitely an Argentinian thing. It is. It is for any artist. Later on, it got a little bit more common, but each country has their own thing. You know, Chileans, we have the
Right.
We just jump around doing that. Brazilians, they sing a lot. There's a lot of like soccer songs that they sing in between
Yes.
songs. But yeah, that like the singing the melody of the song is an Argentinian thing, and everybody tries to kind of like do the same thing after the fact. But yeah, it's not even close. I mean, you have to admit it.
I know. Oh, yeah. I know. But it's also a little bit of monkey see, monkey do, because when they come back in 2013, when they come back in 2015, when they come back in 2018, every crowd does it because of Argentina.
Yeah, and especially for Do the Evolution.
Oh, yeah. And I'm pretty sure that this crowd is doing it for Do the Evolution.
Yeah, it was one. It was kind of like the staple, and then Ed noticed that, and he was trying to just kind of like encourage that.
Right. Let it breathe a little bit. Hey, one more time, one more time, one more time.
Yeah.
That's good singing. As much as we can watch this, I think that my biggest take is that nothing will ever replicate just being there.
Agreed.
You know,
I can tell you for a fact that that is true.
I know, I get it's not like a hot take or anything like that, but like you fully won't get the sense by watching this. You'll kind of just have a little bit of an understanding.
Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying before, if at some point in your life, if you guys are watching this or listening to this, or you know, if you have the opportunity, you will never forget, ever.
Aaron wants to go down whenever they decide they're ready to go down, and I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever have enough money to go down to South America. I want to, obviously, and
Well, we have a place to crash for sure. So
true. A little bit of a yield deep cut. I mean, I wouldn't even consider it a deep cut. It's a conversation. So, what do you consider to be a like actual deep cut? Like, what is the parameter on what a deep cut is?
Man, that's a really good question. I'm trying to put myself in that mindset, you know, like trying to think like being in the crowd, since the cadence of shows is not very high, you get that. Okay, okay, so we're getting um, Faithful. That will be a deep cut.
You
Now,
consider that okay?
right, but maybe the United States not as much because you have like that cadence that is a little higher. They tour a little bit more often, and
Yeah.
But places like South America, because also a lot of people forget that even though the crowds are large, 60, 70, 80,000 K, people forget that sometimes they just do one show per city and they just continue to move on. Some cities they get 2 nights and that's it. So the opportunity to really revise the spectrum of songs is a little bit more limited. So I will consider this a deep cut for sure for the show, for sure.
Okay. I think there's a little bit of a difference between what a live deep cut is and what an album deep cut is, because I still believe this, and for the longest time I thought this, that A-side songs I would not consider to be deep cuts, because A-side songs are usually the singles, and you mesh in other songs within the singles, they're going to get heard. But the B-side of the record historically doesn't have as many singles. It's usually that's where you get the deeper cuts. You know what I mean?
That's a really good point. Yeah.
So Faithful being the number 2 song of the album doesn't necessarily feel like a deep cut, because if you're turning the album on and you're waiting for the hits, Give It a Fly being the 4th. And I think that's why I really love Yield so much, is that it spaces everything out so well.
Yeah, the track listing is superb.
Like,
I
think
agree
of
with
all the number 3 songs at that time were hits.
Yeah.
It was Alive, then Daughter, then Not For You, then Who You Are being a single, I wouldn't call it a hit. But then the number 3 song on Yield being No Way, you're going in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
That's why I like that record so much, because it just bends all of the rules.
Man. Yeah, now I want to hear the song. Such a great song. I haven't heard that in such a long time. Yeah.
We haven't talked about it. We haven't picked the show. We've
Yeah.
done a lot of them, because usually when No Way's in the show, it's a very popular show. So
Yeah. Probably one of the toughest songs to replicate live by this band.
I can see that. Stone hates it.
Why?
I don't know. Probably because the riff just is so repetitive and ongoing that maybe just
But
hard to
it's-
keep pace. I don't know.
Yeah, but it's trippy. Like, that's the beauty of it, you know?
I agree.
I mean, if you want to talk about repetitive riffs, How Soon Is Now, one of the... Right, but How Soon Is Now by the Smiths, like one of the greatest songs ever.
Right.
It's the same riff over and over and over and over, you know?
I feel bad if we're not like specifically talking about each performance. I think this is, we'll obviously do it as we go, but I think there's just so much conversation to be had
Yeah.
about so many different things. When seeing them live in this capacity, South America, what do you think is legitimately the best song that they can put on that just blows everybody away? Is it actually Do the Evolution, or is there a better option? Like, how far up the scale is he from?
I don't know. I think Even Flow is pretty high up. Because you always... In the way that it's always been put on their sets when they're down there, is with a few exceptions. I think 2013 is one of them. it always feels that it's the breakthrough of the show. Like you're kind of like building it, building it, building it, building it. You get to even flow, and you're like, okay, mayhem will go after this, you know?
Right.
And it's a song that everybody feels that you can sing along and like, you know?
I love that Buenos Aires version where that crowd just keeps doing whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa.
Yeah.
Will not stop that. That is one of my favorite things.
By the way, Stone sounds terrific in this version of Even Flow. Like punchy to the throat. It's, yeah, oh yeah.
They're far away from 2009 sonically at this point.
Thank God.
Wow, that's a shot. I can just watch from that angle for the whole time. That's fine.
You know, like, or just behind the stage, like some like in a higher spot. You just, I want to watch the crowd.
I don't think, is there anybody behind this stage? I don't think so. It's so big in front that I would guess that they use all that space.
And in one of the runs when they went down there, I think Ed said one of the most beautiful things that I've ever heard in a live Pearl Jam show. And it happened in Argentina, where he said, like, we should be paying you.
Yeah, I remember that line.
Yes.
I think you're right. I believe it is Argentina.
Yep.
Stone is on the turf. Absolutely right. This is a point that I think we had last week where just that like that is just filthy.
Yeah. And it's just so punchy and it adds so much to the song.
And then he changes it up a little bit. Dun, 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 dun. Like, just plays with it.
Yeah, he has like 5 riffs already.
Right?
Yeah. Okay, the other thing, you remember, like, for PJ20, it was a very defined, how can I say this? It was a very defined, like, kind of cinematography. Because I remember that the show, till the first encore, it was, like, black and white.
Mm-hmm.
And then after the first encore, it was just all colors. Like, how do you feel about that? Do you feel that you really were enjoying the experience, like if you were watching screens, or you feel that you were taking something away from you?
Like at like the show, the anniversary.
Yeah, when you were watching them, like around this time.
Well, I'll say like some of the stuff that they put out around COVID time, like the home shows that they put out. All of like the first handful of songs were all black and white, and I thought the shot selection on those was really strange. It didn't feel like you were showing the band's faces at all, and I did not artistically enjoy that look. I don't mind black and white, and I think I'd rather black and white when you can kind of use it with some flashing lights and make it feel special, or if it's super, super emotional, if you're playing black and white, I think that is, I'll take that. But for a whole show, I don't think it does a whole lot for me unless it's in certain spots.
Yeah, it has to be well targeted and well selected. I agree.
Right, and for the most part, like, I'm not watching the screens anyway. I know that, like, sometimes you're far away and you can't help it, but, like, I try to keep my eyes focused on the stage. And that's how you do it. and it didn't feel like a 10-minute version at all. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what that
intensity.
clocks in at, but
Yeah, the intensity was very high.
yeah. Got some good ones coming up after this. And this is where you want to hear the hits because they are very receptive to a song like Daughter.
And the tag. That's the other thing. Pink Floyd in South America, it's huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
I can see that.
So whenever they will get the another brick in the wall, okay, like the crowd will be very, very, very involved.
It is not another brick in the wall on this one. However, we do get Pink Floyd later in the show.
Oh yes, I remember which song that it was around this time. Okay. Underrated cover.
I don't love when they do Pink Floyd because, like, they're just doing Pink Floyd. It doesn't sound any different. You know?
How many times have you heard Comfortably Numb? Maybe that's the reason of the hatred.
A lot. That's the thing too. Like, if they were to pick like something kind of cool, like Goodbye Blue Sky or something like that,
Right. Or the great gig in the sky or something like that. Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I love when Ed does like the brain damage intro and tease. I love that. I love brain damage. The clips would be cool. But like the choices that they usually make for Pink Floyd are all, you know, what's the songs. not a bad thing, but it's just like, you know, there is a crowd for that specifically.
Yeah.
I remember they did Comfortably Numb at Fenway one year, and a guy sitting next to me said, this is going to be the moment of the night. And I'm like, no. Mind you, they had just played Strangest Tribe, I think.
Yeah. Maybe he didn't know what a strangest drive was, and that's okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, and that's okay. I remember that a little bit more than a couple of years ago, I got a lot of rows in front of me in Wrigley, and yes. So they were very happy when Jeremy came up, and then the first time that I attended to a Wrigley show, the couple that was right next to me left in the middle of the show because they were not playing well-known songs.
Oh, fuck. Whatever. I want to get back to that point, but I really just want to listen to this crowd here because it's like they didn't even wait for Ed to start prompting them. They just went. They just started chanting. That's a crowd that is very proactive. That vocal inflection. It felt like he had to, you know, maneuver his larynx to actually make that noise. That's the Rats dance. That's the gift. It's not the actual one. I know what show that's from, but like he's basically doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
That famous GIF is from this year, and it is Rats from, I believe, Toronto. I think it was Toronto Night 2. Oh,
The
I
crowd
didn't
is
expect this.
But the crowd started that. They were singing "It's Okay" before it started.
Mm-hmm. This was not notated on Live Footsteps.
Dave?
I already called him about something this week. We didn't even mention something that happened on the last episode. In Black, Ed starts singing, I know, I know, I know, I know, I want you, I want you. That's a song called I'm So Excited by the Pointer Sisters. And I'll shut up because I want to hear what's said here. Oh, my chance.
Yeah, I really wish that I could hear. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes I lose audio.
Habit.
How simple. Ooh. Ooh, I don't love that. This is like,
Full step down. But okay, but this is the thing. Like we were talking about the deep cuts and all that kind of stuff. Like this is the kind of song that for the hardcore fan that it hasn't had the opportunity to move around a lot.
yep.
Totally, this faithful, even Nothing Man. Like it really, those are the kind of songs that like people in South America that were chasing.
I remember talking to somebody on Twitter at one point, and he was just like, it's not fair. Like, I think I was talking about how much I love that 13 Buenos Aires show. He's like, all they played was hits that show. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It was incredible. The crowd was incredible. He's like, all I want is distant and glorified G. And I'm like, that's simple enough to where you're in the States, and that's not like a horrible request. Dissonant's a little tough, and glorified G is maybe a small notch above that, but still.
Did we get those two in San Luis 22 in the same show?
Yes, we did. That was my first glorified G, and that finished off Versus for me.
Yeah, I have no clue where I'm at with my stats, but sure, somewhere.
Have you seen WMA in full? That's the big one.
I don't think I have. I don't know. I don't know, to be honest with you.
It's nice to get that one out of the way, your first show.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
And then, see, now people, we have evidence that he complains about Comfortably Numb, but like, well, I got WMA in my first show.
I haven't seen it in a lot of years, so I'm complaining that. Overall, that was like my first big hot take of this podcast when we started 8 years ago. Was stop tagging when WMA played in full.
Yeah. Yeah.
But probably the hot take that like attached to everybody was how much I don't like Godsend. And that is like stuck for 8 years.
Yeah, that has been very well known. I think that
Yeah, we got about 4 songs until we.
I think that is equally important to my hatred for O9.
Yeah.
I think they're like even.
I like this jam. It kind of takes me out of how kind of murky the actual song sounded.
Yeah.
And maybe it's because like this feels just off the cuff.
A little bit of chaos. A little bit of chaos at the end.
Yeah, that's
never
some
hurts.
blood-like shit right there. They didn't even get that chaotic in blood. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Are there lighting cues that you see and you immediately know what song is coming?
No, I can tell you something more strange though. I would have
Okay.
known for the kind of guitars that they're wearing.
Well, yeah, I figured.
But no, for the lighting and for certain things, no. Um, but it was kind of funny because sometimes when I'm with, I remember around those years, they will be changing their instruments, and Stone and Mike and Jeff will grab whatever they're gonna grab, and my friends were immediately like, what's coming? What's coming?"
I mention it because immortality to me, I always recognize that purple.
Okay. Yep. Like a color coding, right? Like something
Yes.
that you know that comes with the song.
Mhm.
Now that you say that, for me the color red too. Like I will immediately associate that with black too.
Yes,
Like that
absolutely.
very intense redness, you know?
They got kind of like burnt sienna with it a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe not burnt sienna. Maybe that's like maybe like maroon. That it was. Um, yeah, certain songs, footsteps. I think like in the latter stages has been like really like dark blue. Um, Off He Goes, I think, has been green. I don't know why I attached that song with green, but I do.
Okay. So something that I wanted to find is Plaza de Apoteosis, right? Like that's the name of the venue.
Yep.
Because some of the layout looked very familiar to me. It actually is the square that is located at the end of the runway when people celebrate Carnaval in Brazil.
Oh, okay.
That's why the layout on the sides, because I'm just like I remember this place, but I just cannot remember from where. So yeah, it's the final stretch, it's the final kind of like station where all people celebrating Carnival stop. That's where they were playing.
Got it. Cool. They're not inviting like the dancers on stage or anything like that in this. Yes, during Immortality, all the carnivals, dancers, and mascots, and whatever they have go run on stage, shake their ass in the G-string and all that.
I don't think that will fit in a Pro Jam show, but it will be for sure interesting.
We can make it.
I don't know if I will pay money for that, but
I like know absolutely bare minimum about Carnival, but I do know what I'm hearing is good for Mikey. I love that guitar.
Gibson SG, a black one or ebony one, that again got taken out for a ride and then never came back again.
Oh, what a shame.
I'm pretty sure that he has options over the 300 instruments that he must have.
Do you think he owns almost every guitar that he's played on stage, like, or do a lot of them like sit in the warehouse?
Yeah, no, I know that Pearl Jam doesn't work as their name is their business. It's like an LLC, right? But like them as human beings, as players, they own their own instruments.
Okay.
Some other bands they don't have that. Like it belongs to the brand.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, but they have their own stuff. Like they're owners of their own stuff. But yeah, I think he owns everything that he plays on stage. He has lended a few historically, like the one that we were talking to last year in Nashville, that 58 that it just gets out for live and then gets back to the vault.
Gloves. Yeah.
Yeah, the $1 million guitar, that's what it is.
My
Yeah,
God,
and
I
actually, somebody we're having a conversation with Aaron, and he was talking to a friend that he reconnected with when we were in Nashville last year. He was like, "Hey, do you know if your guy, your friend that knows about the guitars, know if Stone and Mike like they take their vintage stuff out?" Stone doesn't. He only takes reissues. Mike
Cameron.
takes
take a camera break. Oh, now it's over.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That was really good.
Yeah, but Mike takes all the vintage stuff out. Like, all of it.
That makes sense. He'd be a little bit more daring than Stone is. Stone's a little bit, I don't want to use the word conservative, but that's kind of what it amounts to.
Yeah. Oh my god, how much insurance do I need to pay for this?
Right.
I'm pretty sure that he will be wondering about that.
Yeah, you gotta do it. But by 2011, I think that most of these Backspacer songs were like really pushed to the side. I'm gonna get some numbers on these right now.
Yeah.
Because think about it, like the Fixer got some would usually be played 09 and 2010, like pretty close to the beginning of the set, and this is
Yeah.
middle.
Yeah, but even though that they're not in a album run, this was the first time for the people down there to experience the songs.
Oh sure, yeah, that's a good point.
You know, so yeah, there was a lot of excitement, and like the Fixer and all that kind of stuff got some because people really wanted to hear those songs live.
Let's look at Backspacer here. So, Speed of Sound and Force of Nature were not played at all. I don't think Force of Nature was even. I think it had its last play before this, but Speed of Sound I think had like one or two more after. Unthought Known in all of 2011 has played 20 times. Godson's only played 10. Fixer's played 20. Just Breathe has played 20. Amongst the Waves has only played 5. Supersonic's only played 3. The End has played 2. Gunnison and My Friends only played 1. Giant Guitar's only played 1. So really it's Unthought, Just Breathe, and the Fixer every night, and then Got Some every other night, and then the rest are very sporadic.
Randy, go deeper on that stat. Which or those of those songs were played in South America from Backspacer?
Let me see if I can do it by like tour. Yeah, that's okay. Here's tour.
I'm pretty sure the Fixer, Got Some, Just Breathe are going to be the main 3, but I will be interested to know what about the other ones.
Latin America, 2011. Okay, so now we add Johnny Guitar was not played at all in South America. They played the one time they played Gonna See My Friend was down there. Got Some is 5, Fixer's 10. I believe there's 10 in total.
Okay.
Just Breathe 10, Unthought 10, Amongst the Waves 3, Supersonic 3, The End 1. So not a whole lot, but also
I think Gonna See My Friend was playing in Brazil. I think.
Okay, so Sao Paulo. Does that sound
In
right?
one of the
Brasilia?
dates. Yeah, in one of the dates. Yep.
Get this for numbers here. This is a little surprising and this goes back to the conversation that we were having. Lost Dogs. These are the only Lost Dogs that were played in South America or Latin America, adding in Mexico and Costa Rica. Down, Footsteps, Last Kiss, Even Here, Ledbetter. That's it. There wasn't a single, not even alone.
Yeah, in 05 we got a lot of the Lost Dog tracks.
That's
we
the
did.
Lost Dog tour.
Yeah.
I bet in 2015 they probably did a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Like, oh yeah, 2015. I remember that now.
Hey, Hobby, have you ever heard of Diplomatic Resolve? Just curious.
I don't know. I'm feeling very peaceful right now, so I don't know if I want to get into that today.
Like, I don't know why. I just hate that line.
Yeah. I don't,
Like,
Randy. I don't think like if this song ever has a metamorphosis, I don't think you're gonna like it anyways. I don't think if it's being rewritten, reborn, replay, re-recorded, anything. I don't think it's gonna pass your filter. There's nothing wrong with that.
I think there's that line that I don't like, and then my other least favorite line. For some reason, it bothers me so much. The aforementioned verse line in "Who You Are." I hate it so much. I don't know why. That's the moss in the aforementioned verse. Like, come on, dude. It feels a little like what's the word I'm looking for? Pretentious.
Yeah, yeah.
If you were listening to me 2 seconds ago, then you would have figured it out.
Yeah. Well, now we are revealing deep secrets and dirty secrets in this recording. I have to say that I love Sirens as a song and as a melody, but some of the lines in that song, I'm kind of like, that's a little too much cheese for me.
It is. Do you know that I hated that song when it first came out?
I can see that. I mean, it was not one of those things where like you're like, oh, okay.
I thought it sounded like Train. Yeah, that was I'm like, get this Hey Soul Sister shit out of here. That's what I used to say.
Uh,
But I grew
I
and matured.
I thought I thought that you were gonna give me something deeper from the '90s. I don't know, like what's the name of the band that they have like the You Wanted More, one hit wonder, Tonic. I thought that you were
Well,
gonna give me
Tonic's
something
not a
like that.
one hit.
I'm being
If you
sarcastic.
can only
That's
see.
I know. Well, a two-hit wonder.
Yeah, it probably doesn't go past 2.
Yeah, You Wanted More is a wonderful song, and if you say something against that, we're gonna get into a fist fight. So, yeah.
I got. Let's hear what Ed has to say here. I think he's speaking a little English. Nope, never mind.
Aqui no Rio.
I just heard very special.
Here, a key.
Yeah. The audio is a little choppy, so I can't hear very much.
Okay. Bonita.
Yeah, like it's such a beautiful city.
Okay.
Well, it makes sense that we're talking about a city that is pretty.
Yeah. A bit of an odd spot for small town.
It is. It is a very odd spot.
Like, you would think that would have came like after Give It a Fly or so.
Yeah, or maybe even like Unknown, maybe
Yeah.
like
Could've worked.
part of that first pack.
Right. I mean, it doesn't not work. It's just kind of, you would expect something else here.
Yeah. Yeah. But you know what? Like I totally get your point. But with this crowd, you can any combination, you know, like anything. The crowd is gonna. It doesn't matter. Like the crowd is gonna get into it.
That's one of the things that I wonder when you guys do your South American pod, you know, the spinoff. If people are gonna, if you talk like setlist structure, people are gonna be like, "I don't give a shit about setlist structure."
I will be intrigued because I think that I've learned to appreciate both ends and perspectives, but I'm very intrigued about that. Very, very intrigued.
It's a huge part of the show. Huge.
And the other thing that sometimes people forget about, like South American stadiums, sometimes, not everybody, but sometimes people will criticize how minimalistic is the setting that this band uses live. And I remember that around those years, like some people were like, I can't believe that I'm paying this amount of money to see this freaking band with a banner in the back and with a couple of lights. Because it's some people see them not as a band is like an artist that is forced to perform just because you pay a fee to see them. But the core fans, the long time fans, that they understand that the premise is different. Like they're storytellers.
Yes.
You know, they're not there just to impress you with their stage. You know, they just want to play music.
Well, if a band like U2 goes down there, it ruins things for everybody because that becomes the standard.
Yeah.
Or the Stones.
Yeah.
They easily become the standard, you know?
Right. But although I think U2 has been so important because they have like really up in the notch when it comes to technology, like that is being used in stadiums and sound and projection and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm a U2 fan. I think they are transcendent, the edge, sonically structured, a lot of the stuff that right now we known as delays and all that kind of stuff. But going back to your original point, it does spoil the experience because people think like, oh, a big band is coming. That's the standard that we should be expecting and hoping to get.
Well, that's something that I said when we were talking about Ed being in Japan about a month ago, because people are like, well, why isn't Pearl Jam going back there? And I thought the real reason why a lot of American bands go to Japan and why there's a lot of hype over those bands like a Metallica or just bands that have a showcase, that have a spectacle. Pearl Jam is not a spectacle live show. They are a rock show. They are bringing a club show to a big venue is what they're doing.
Yeah.
And places that are big like this, and in Japan, they desire the spectacle because they think that ties in with Western culture.
Yeah, I agree. It's a tough selling point too, because sometimes promoters are now going to be, well, like, is the investment equal to the amount of like intake, demand, profit that we're going to get? Which I think that it will end up being green for the promoter and for the band anyways, but still they're taking a risk because the infrastructure like of this bands of this size that they move around, it's huge. It's a daunting task. It's a large operation. Imagine that when they were doing the Dark Matter run, they had a traveling stage.
Yeah.
They were moving with the stage everywhere. Because it was designed so specifically for its voice setting and like the feedback and the monitor controlling and all that kind of stuff, that the specs could not be matched, so they needed to travel with their stage.
Right. And you want to know something insane? They went to Europe, and because they had to cancel those few shows, a lot of those shows were festivals. A lot of those shows were outside, like I think in Manchester and Dublin. I think they only used the stage setup in Barcelona. I think, and that was it.
Yeah, because even London was canceled too, like the Hotspur Stadium.
Yep, and Berlin.
Yeah.
Now I have no idea if it would have been used at that Berlin show.
Right.
Another outdoor venue, I'm just not sure. Man, they're building up a sweat. Like, I feel like we're not giving enough credit to what's going on, but the conversations have been great. But the visuals here are spectacular.
Yeah, Brazil will get you sweaty. For sure. It will get you very sweaty.
Probably.
It's very humid down there. Very humid.
Yeah. So this main set is a soft 16. I always compare main sets, like when, in blackjack, like you don't hit on 17.
Oh
But
yeah.
when it's 16, like you feel like you got to take a hit because dealer can't bust, or you can't win if you have 16 and dealer qualifies with 17. You're just gonna lose if you hit if you don't hit. I gotta find money to play blackjack a little bit more.
I think I've ever played blackjack one time in my life. I really enjoy poker, but I think I've only played that blackjack one time.
Oh, blackjack's so much fun. If you understand.
Right. And that's the thing. Sometimes it's when I have to learn something like that or like a card game, just the learning process and all the rules, I find that profoundly boring. I like to play the game. I would like to skip to the part that we play and not to learn like the 10,000 rules that I need to know.
Yeah. Well, it's more about like when to do stuff, when to
Right.
make more money, when to double down. What's it called? The other one. We have like 2 things. When to split. And I always do a thing where if I win a hand in blackjack, if you're playing at like low stakes, you keep 1 chip on and you keep building. You're like, okay, say you win like $10, you keep a $5 chip on top of your bet, and then you keep building off of that. Once you get to 5, you go back to your original bet. That way, if you're on a win streak, you'll keep a lot. That's always my strategy when it comes to it. It works. Sometimes. All right, let's see what destination they decide to travel here.
Mike was having a really good night with a scratch.
Another one. I Gretch on, and is he using the microphone to kind of scrape the strings right there? I can't tell.
Yeah, or when you put it closer, you can create a little bit of feedback too.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Magic. And it never gets old. Clapping builds you up.
No matter how many hours of rehearsal you're going to be spending in a room, like that's just chemistry. Like how many years you have been playing with the same guys.
That's right. I like how Stone is just kind of playing like sort of the noise of the melody.
Just sustaining the note. Yeah.
I love that. It's like, yeah, that's it's really hard to edit content when you really get this job.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all the like fan takes.
Yeah. Stone.
I love the flashes, and when you see them kind of like slow mo moving, that's so cool.
You can see it if you look at our faces. You can see it like
Yeah.
reverberating in our faces.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I can't help but look there. That was awesome. Wow.
That was way, way the way to end up a set.
Hmm. Yeah. That's a lot to have to live up to in the encore. So let's pause for a second and kind of recalibrate a little bit and talk about what we do at the middle of our broadcast anyway. And we talk about Patreon, as we can call this station identification if you wish. So, if you want to help the show out and donate to our cause, keep the podcast afloat as we continue to go through year number 8 right here, just, like just looking to keep doing this as long as possible. Long term goal, we've always set out to kind of make it a completist sort of thing, is that we're going to keep doing this until every single show has been covered that is, available to us, that has a bootleg or has video or something, because I think you want it to be as comprehensive as humanly possible, and the only way to do that is to have every story told. And sure, at some point it's going to be really super difficult to say, well, we gotta go through all the ones that feel very, very similar, and like just ones that don't have the story entailed. Like, think about this. We've done a lot of shows that would be considered the popular shows. And
Hmm.
part of us doing this chronology and going through year by year by year is us to find a way to make some of the middle tier shows. And it's not even middle tier, but middle tier popularity. This is a great show. Last week was a great show. I would consider the middle tier shows, but middle tier of popularity in the community, put them in the spotlight, in the forefront, and get you guys to pay attention to them because we think it's worth it. I mean, every show pretty much is worth the conversation, is worth the discussion. But how else will it get to the forefront if people aren't putting it forward to you? And in this one, unlike most of what we do every week, we're giving you the entire show and saying, here it is for you to experience with us as we're going along. And a lot of what we do and what we have, our goals with the website, with the podcast in general, it's all funded through the people, through the fans, through everybody that has been following this since the beginning or since yesterday. And we are very thankful for those people to come in and support us because we cannot do it without those type of people. So right now, obviously, as things go on, there's the idea of, yeah, the tickets are sold out, but there's a possibility that we can end up going to Ohana at some point. And we got to figure that out. But also, that's something that we need to be funded for. And that is something that right now look, we are actively looking, we are actively seeking. So please, help us get more content out to the world, help us spread it. And really, what we're going to do when we're out there, if we decide to go, is, just have a whole comprehensive, review of what's going on and what it's like to be out there. So, the reaction episode obviously will come into play. But that all comes from you guys and your support on this. And it's been like that for years. So if you are supporting, please continue to. I think we're going to get into this point where we can probably take some more requests from people that we haven't
Hmm.
taken in a while. And we can kind of get that. So if you've been a long time patron and you had a request years ago, we could probably take another. I would not be opposed to that. But also for new people, if you join up on $5 tier or the $10 tier, you will get a requested episode. And, you know, there aren't a lot of plans for the latter half of 2026. So it is possible that we can just make the rest of the year a total request year. I don't want to say that because we're not Carson Daly, but we could do something like that. So with your support, your help, head on over to patreon.com/live on four legs and donate and help us continue to keep this afoot because if it weren't for everything that's coming through there, I don't know if this could be funded right now. And I say that seriously. I say that with, complete genuinity. It is very tough to fund a podcast. And that's why, we need the people's help. So it's, a small donation per month or per year, whatever you decide. And it all goes to help what we're doing out here. So I said patreon.com/live on four legs, but also you can go to the Patreon app and search for Live on Four Legs or go to liveonfourlegs.com. A lot of the Concertpedia stuff is getting posted now. We are on a good progression with that. So keep all that stuff in mind as we move forward. And look, we have what, like 10 or 11 more episodes of the chronology series after this one. So there's a lot more to do. But we still have a lot to do in the grand scheme of things. So we need the continued support. All right. Encore one, encore two, shall we? Back to
Hmm.
the rock. And we're back. If you're seeing this, obviously, I'm wearing something different than I was wearing last time. You look like you're wearing the same shirt. It might be the same color as you wore.
Perhaps might be the same T-shirt.
Oh, so you were trying with continuity. I wasn't even trying.
Yeah, I thought about that. I thought about that.
No, I don't. We did this in 2 days, folks, and we don't expect you to watch this all in one either.
Yeah.
Not only on drums, but a really great singer, great songwriter. He plays
So
drums
biggest
in a
takeaways out of the first part, I think
legendary
it's
band,
well, first of all, the crowd,
Matt Cameron,
how intense they were. I really wish that we could have more takes from the crowd,
Yeah,
just to see how they were reacting to stuff. The band seems to be having a really good time though. Like they're like really playing stuff that maybe you're not gonna get very consistently in sets when you go down there. So it's an exciting night for the audience for sure.
and they hadn't been down there for very long at that point. They'd only been for 2 shows at Sao Paulo. This is the third show of 10 on this little tour. So, I think that attitude would remain throughout the whole entire time, but like there's still a honeymoon phase with it.
Hmm.
Okay, so I guess X opened these shows,
Yes,
which makes
X
a
was
whole lot of
opening for
sense.
them.
Yeah, they opened the whole 2011 because he said that every single night. X35, X35. It's PJ20, X35.
I'm speaking in English. Is that okay? A little bit more. Yeah. You hear there's an asteroid coming near Earth. You hear this? closer than the moon.
Was that a story? I don't remember
Times like
that.
these,
I think it was. I think it was that there was something going on close.
I love you.
I mean, close as thousands of miles, but
I
um,
yeah, zero memory of all that.
I love you.
But it's love song time. All right. Do we have Jeff out there? Stone's not out there. Matt doesn't seem to be out there. Boom is there.
yep.
Where's Jeff? We'll know in the second verse. Oh, crowd. They might make up for the bass being missed.
As we sit alone, I know someday we must go on.
I don't know why, but for some reason, while watching this, I really want him to just sing it like Willie Nelson on this. I don't see Jeff. I don't
Yeah,
think
I
this
only
is gonna
see
work for him.
Boom so far.
And if Mike is there, we can talk about Mike's part on this, because it's really not much of a part. I don't have high hopes. No, it's not there.
Mm,
And Mike's not even there either.
yeah.
Mike usually just does like dun 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 dun, and it's like literally nothing if he's there. Like, I don't see the point of having him on, especially when he's been on stage over Jeff at times. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah. I think it just becomes a matter of choice. Whatever Ed he wants to play and the kind of arrangement he wants to put out there. Yeah, for me, it will always make more sense if Jeff is just within, because I think it really adds something very different to the song whenever he plays with him. Yeah, you're gonna have a little bit more maybe spacey stuff with Mike playing around, but I will prefer Jeff all the time, just to give it a little bit more depth.
Yeah, I get that. Well, no, I agree with that. What am I talking about? Of course I fucking agree with that. Not, I get that. I think I just like got caught up in actually watching this. But like you were saying, this was a massive song down in South America.
Yeah, it was
So-
heavily played on the radio.
And it feels like the crowd is really responding in that manner. That this was something that they were waiting to see.
And it was a very common question too, where like if you will grab a guitar, if you're like hanging out with friends, the girls will ask you, "Hey, do you know how to play Just Breathe?" I'm like, yeah.
It did kind of become a college kid with a guitar under a tree song.
Yep.
Unfortunately. Yeah. For all you purists out there, I'm just shaking right now. Meet you on the other side. I see my attempt at Willie Nelson did not impress the masses. It was terrible. Look, Javi's not even responding to this.
No, I'm just trying to listen.
Oh.
Esta música é para o meio amigo Johnny Ramone.
Of course, we're getting Ramones references.
Ele adorava o Brasil. Eu sinto saudades dele.
You know what could be a really fun experiment? to see if there are any South American shows that don't have some kind of Ramones reference.
Yeah.
And I'd
Yeah.
even kind of count this because this was written about him.
Yeah. Now, I can tell you that in the 2011 run, this is the song that a lot of people wanted
Yeah.
to hear. I'm sorry. A lot of people were chasing Comeback.
Well, you said it in the last, in the first part. I was going to say the last episode yesterday,
Yeah.
but literally maybe 20 minutes for the rest of you. You said that this was the first time showcasing the Backspacer songs. It's the first time showcasing Avocado, too. Because
Right.
they were down here before Avocado was even released.
Right, and then they didn't have a run for Avocado like back then.
Right.
But yeah, there were a lot of songs that people were like. I remember when you were like just waiting for the shows and stuff like that. And I was traveling too because I did Santiago and Buenos Aires. In Comeback, it was always like, I just want to hear a comeback, man. I just want to hear a comeback. I can't remember how many times it was played, but I think this was one of the, or the only one, or maybe one of the two.
I will check that up. I stupidly didn't put another window on my other screen, so I'm gonna have to check it through my phone. So if I'm just looking down and not talking for a minute, that's what I'm doing. So you want to know if there was one other time they played Comeback on this run?
Yes.
Okay, I can find that out. And hey, you guys can probably find this out pretty easily too at home. You see, there's a website called livefootsteps.org that we use constantly. Helps run this podcast sometimes. And you can dig through basically over the years we've helped kind of make this easier for us to grab stats and like things that we were using on the podcast, and Dave was like, oh yeah, I can do that, and you know, we made it happen. So you can go to livefootsteps.org and look at all of this kind of stuff as well. Okay, let's look at Latin America 2011, and we're gonna go down to Avocado, aka yeah, you're right. It was only 2 times that Comeback was played. Do you know the other show, or?
No, I can't remember.
I can get that information quite quickly. That would be Sao Paulo 2 nights before this.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
the first Sao Paulo.
Brazil got a lot of treats in this run.
I'm sure.
Lot.
I mean, I think there were 4 total Brazil shows, right? Or no,
Yes.
5.
5.
It was
Yeah,
5
no,
because I
5.
think there's 2 Sao Paulo, there's Rio, there's Curitiba, and Porto Alegre.
Yep, that sounds right.
So yeah, I mean that's half of their time down there, and the rest was Argentina, Chile,
Lima, Peru.
Yep, and Costa Rica and Mexico.
Yeah. Wait, I think I did Lima too. Yeah. So
went to
never
Lima?
mind. I think I did. Yes, it was Santiago. Buenos
How do you
Aires,
forget
Lima,
that you were in Peru?
I know I've been in Peru like many times, but
Oh, okay.
it's been a while, Randy. Okay, I'm aging. I'm forgetting
You're
things.
supposed to know your stats, dude.
I know. Well, that's why you have a website that is called liveonfootsteps.org where you can go check
Live
your own
footsteps,
stats.
not live on footsteps. You.
See?
Oh, if we had a change jar. We'd be owing so much.
Oh yeah.
Live on 4 footsteps. I mean, basically it is.
Yeah. Live at fourlegs.com.
Live or Footsteps, hallucinogenic recipe. I'm trying to think of Gear Garage. Oh, this is a good ending. Well, that's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think if okay, I'm glad this came up. All right, so we're gonna do it. I'm gonna go through every South American show. We're gonna start with 2005.
What's the filter though? Like if they play "Come Back" or "I Believe in Miracles"?
Any Ramones reference. It could be a tag of Blitzkrieg Bob. It could be I Believe in Miracles. I believe every show from 2005 had I Believe in Miracles.
Okay.
And I'm
I like
only
that.
going to count. I'm only going to count South America and not Mexico or any Central America in this. And I think the only Central America is Costa Rica. Okay, so there's Blitzkrieg Bop and I Believe in Miracles for Santiago 105.
Correct.
You could probably tell me Santiago 2. There's a Blitzkrieg Bop tab. The same thing. Literal same spots for both.
Yeah.
So we're 2 for 2. I Believe in Miracles at Buenos Aires 05.
Mm-hmm.
There's 2 Buenos Aires, and I Believe in Miracles is on Buenos Aires night 2.
Me too. I was gonna say Ferro, Estadio de Ferro.
This one is Porto Alegre, and once again we have I Believe in Miracles. Okay. I don't know if all the 2018 stuff are going to be Ramones. We'll have to see. All right, Curitiba, check. Sao Paulo 05.
But even though if you don't count the songs or something like that, like there will, you're right. Like in every show, there's always a mention. There's a little reference of like, hey, we can't believe that we're back. Like Johnny used to love this place so much, or you know, there's always something like that.
That's different. That's not the usual solo for this. That was cool. It was very simplistic, but it sounded good. That was a lot different than what I remember. All right, Sao Paulo 2 has it. I'm not going to finish this by the end of the song. I probably won't even finish 2005. So, I Want to Be Your Boyfriend and I Believe in Miracles from Rio 05. Let's see. Okay, that's Mexico. So I think we're done with 05. Yep. Yeah, I think I finished those in Mexico. State of Love and fill in the blank. State of Love and Fuck You Over. Right, shall I? Oh, that's not what I want. Shall I check 2011 now? And maybe I won't go further than 2011 because it's just kind of beating a dead horse.
Right.
But all right, Sao Paulo. They had 2 shows. I Believe in Miracles is at the first one. I Want to Be Your Boyfriend is at the second one, but not I Believe in Miracles. So we might not get the full 8 shows here. Rio, obviously. Okay. No song for Curitiba. So we were perfect until we got to Curitiba. unfortunately. So that was the first time they did not do a tag, and sometimes they didn't even do daughter, so we don't even know, because sometimes Live Footsteps doesn't have whether or not they did Blitzkrieg Bob. But yeah, that was probably about like 11 or 12 shows before they did not make a Ramones reference at a South American Pearl Jam show.
Yeah, that's a pretty good trend, though.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good trend.
Deserving one too.
Yeah,
But
and they're due. They're due. Like, whatever their plans are, they need to go back. They're very much due now.
yeah, I think so. And I think this is a good time to go back because, as mentioned, with the drummer, like, what you want to do is you want to get the new drummer reps. You want to get them enough so that they're comfortable playing the songs.
Yeah.
And while there's going to be a massive crowd in everywhere they go in South America, you can get that drummer reps with all of the big songs and just have them nail them down. And you don't have to variate the set list too much in order to, do what you need to do.
Right.
But you get them reps down in South America, get the new drummer who might not have played crowds like this, get him to feel that, and get him to play those songs right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go to the States and do a tour. I'd say no more than like 8 shows in South America.
Yeah, I wonder for how long they're gonna be rehearsing beforehand before Ohana.
I hope it's
And
a
then
lot.
may-
But
Yeah, and maybe then we're gonna get more confirmations. Who knows?
it's not
who
like them
knows?
to do that, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I kind of forgot that this was coming. Ladies and gentlemen, ...2011 is kind of a good year for the song because it did
Yeah.
get a lot of play down in South America and in Canada. It's only been played 13 times overall. It's just one of those numbers you just remember. It's not been played since 2016 at Wrigley, I believe.
I was there.
Yeah, this is one I want to see. Like, I don't know if it ever has an opportunity again, but it would make me very happy. I feel like more people should know this song.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just kind of like this one-off of history. Especially for this era. I mean, in the 90s, there were a couple songs that were just kind of like, all right, well, we have this thing, we worked on it, so let's throw it out there. But, like, in the 2010s, throwing out an unreleased song is
Yeah.
nearly unfathomable. And the fact that Jack White, is involved in it, too.
Mm-hmm.
The way they just take this away too, like, it just, I know it's weird saying they just don't have a lot of jam songs. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and even when I'm thinking like jam songs, I'm thinking about how like Dave Matthews jams, how Fish jams, how Grateful
Yeah.
Dead jams. When they jam within the confines of what the song is, and they never escape that, or very rarely escape that. Like, it always sounds like they are playing the song.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're going with this. when I heard the song for the first time, I thought that it was kind of their own reach down, you know?
Not bad. Yeah, it's not a bad example. Comparison. And it has elements of Porch too.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm getting kind of a Porch vibe with this version for some reason. But like going back and doing stuff like that, like it's not taking you away from the song. It never does that. It always there's improvising, there's jamming, but they always find a way to bring you back into the original sound of the song.
Yeah.
How well did this song travel down to South America?
Hardcore fans knew it.
Okay.
Hardcore fans knew it, but it was not a thing that you were like, oh, I really want to hear Off the Earth. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, when, like I was saying in the previous episode, part one, when you start to read about the sets and like see who got what, and there was a lot of eyebrows up. Oh, they got Come Back? They got Off the Earth?
Yeah. Good.
Because always you're gonna have the expectation that whenever they're gonna go down, like Argentina always is gonna be something unique. You know, you always gonna have that threshold. Like, okay, what's gonna happen there?
Right.
But I remember for this run, Brazil got so many really, really, really cool songs. But they were really pushing that little run within the country.
Deservedly so.
Yeah, it's a great audience. It's a beautiful country. It's a great place to go and visit and spend some time there. It's beautiful, beautiful place. The people is nice and everybody's friendly, and yeah, it's a really, really fun place to go.
What's the best, without bias, what's the best country in South America?
Do I need to answer that question?
You do, and you have to do it honestly, and you have to back it up.
Oh, Chile, of course.
See, you're not going to back it up. You're just going to say, it's in my blood.
Yeah. No, I think, jokes aside, I think each country has a different beauty. There's so many things about where I'm from that I like. There's so many beautiful things about Argentina, so many more beautiful things about Peru, Bolivia, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay, Mexico, Colombia, Ecuador. And forgive me if I'm missing one, but each one has something unique that it will make it very special. Their food, their culture, their music, and the way they express themselves, you know, it's a very cool mix of a lot of stuff. I mean, of course, if you ask one of the Argentinians, they're going to be like, of course, we're the freaking kings of the universe. Yeah. I mean, they have earned their stripes with, I will say, they have earned them very well. But yeah, right. There's a lot of beauty in that.
Let's put a pause and a pin on that conversation, because we're about to get the South American crowd. You hear them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just continue on here. It doesn't get there until the next time they're there.
Yeah.
Because Ed at the time would be waiting for that. If he hears it, and if he hears it loud enough, he's going to sit back and let it go, and then he's going to say, one more time, and he's going to sing along with them and do the whoa, oh, oh, instead of doing admire me, admire my home. So that tells me either he's not expecting it at this point because the Argentina show has not happened on this tour yet. I think it's like the first date after the Brazil show, so it's like 3 dates away. But you do hear it. It just needs
It needs more
another
seasoning.
run. Yeah,
Yeah.
it needs another run from this crowd to understand, because like you said, crowds are very monkey see, monkey do. Especially, I feel like South American crowds, because they hear Argentina do that, and they know that Argentina, you know, as passionate as it can be. Well, we're Brazilians. We can be more passionate than Argentina. You know?
Yeah. Right. And it becomes a thing of like you want to be remembered. you know?
Yes.
So if the other country did it, you got to do it best. You got to do it better.
Right. I love the competition,
Yeah. Yeah.
because there's none of that in the States.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. When you're down there, you're like, oh, they did that in Lima. Okay. We'll take it.
Sadly, you don't even like get local flavor in the States as much anymore, unless it's like a really big city.
Yeah.
Unless it's Philly, New York,
Chicago,
those kind of places.
Seattle, I would say San Diego, kind of like the West Coast places too.
Yeah, some like, I don't know. I've never been to a show in LA, so I can't like speak on that, but I've been to all the other ones we just mentioned. But I feel like going to the Raleigh show, there was one moment in the Raleigh show that made me feel like we're not around all the locals, because Ed talked about the Hurricanes having to play the night before, and then the band tear down their set, get prepared for a hockey game for the playoffs, and then build the set back up again.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was mentioning that, and he was like, you guys have a damn good hockey team here, I was in GA, and like nobody in GA responded. And I was like, I don't give a shit about the Hurricanes,
Yeah.
because everybody was from all over the place.
Right.
But-
right. Just more travelers more than anything else. Yeah.
But I heard in the seats and like surrounding, I heard it way more.
Okay.
Let's hear this crowd for a second. They don't even need guitar harmonies. They can just sing the songs. Jeff sounds really good. Like that's a hot take. But 12 strings really
You know-
working.
Yeah, I know. In this run, the band sounds outstanding. Sound really, really good.
So, if you noticed, the backdrop in the first half was the speakers, and now they changed to the old PJ20 logo.
Yeah. In the later half, they will change that. Yeah.
The minimalist thing that, like, I hated that logo at the time because I thought it was just ugly, but now I'm like nostalgic for it. So, of course, I don't buy anything with that logo on it. And, you know, it was out because I'm like,
Is-
oh,
is-
this is just too minimalistic.
Is there a meaning for that symbol that we're
Yeah.
using around that time?
Yeah, you don't see it? Look at it. The circle is the circle of the P, and then the semicircle is the loop for the J. You didn't know that? Really?
Yep. No, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can see it now. Okay. I can see it now.
15 years later.
Yeah. Why do they have two stripes and a thing in the center?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's so minimalistic that I guess it makes sense that you couldn't tell, but like, I guess the only reason why I figured it out was because it was so front and center on everything. Ed thinks he's on top of the world. Or at least on top of the continent. What is that above the amps? Looked like a stuffed animal of some sort.
Yeah. I think it's the little kind of like dragon, or like
Oh yeah.
the Boom has over his speaker.
Okay, yeah. I thought that was more of a 2000 thing. I remember that thing from like the 2000 tour. Did you know that the crew had like a puppet of like a rat? It was called RJ something. And basically, I don't know how long they did this for. Oh, wow. Hello, Jesus. Jesus greets me. Looks just like me.
Cristo
Looks more like
Redentor.
you, actually. In reality. Doesn't look like me. But I am Jewish, so maybe. What was I just saying? I'm sorry. I got caught up with
The rat.
Yeah. Okay, so they used to give this like rat stuffed animal to a couple people in the front, and they used to take a picture of it at shows around this time. And this was a crew thing, and they had a Twitter account for it. His name was like RJ something.
Really?
I'm gonna look for this real quick. I'll let Ed kind of show off his kit and all that.
Of all the 20 years we played here twice, and truly from here to there, to there, to there, from here to there, one of the best
RJ
group of people
Biscotti.
you could ever play for. The most active. Thank you.
And if you can tell, that's what it looked like.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a friend that got,
We're very grateful.
they gave it
Very
to him
grateful
and he took
for
a
you.
picture of it.
Thank you.
Like the last time they posted with it was in 2016 at Wrigley in the Ivy.
We never played this one in front of a crowd before.
It was cool. It was
Yeah.
kind of like
Roger Waters.
the flat, what's the flat Andy or something, whatever it's called.
Mother, do you think they'll drop?
It was something fun. RJ Biscotti.
I know that this is not your favorite, but I think it's a really good cover.
Mother, do
It
you
stays
think
true
they'll
to the
like this
original.
song?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I always had, like, that I always docked some points off for it, because their best covers are always them
Mother, do you
trying
think
to
they'll break my ball?
give something of Pearl Jam into it.
Yeah.
And
That's fair.
while the counterpoint to that is that I don't know how they can get any more Pearl Jam by doing it the way it's supposed to be done.
Mother, should I run
Does that
Right.
make sense?
Yeah.
Because I mean that riff, like that riff is like a Stone riff right there.
Hmm.
I love when he plays that. I love that about their cover of this. Ed's vocals, I mean, that gets to Roger Waters territory for sure. And then Mike, you know, was the recipe. So I get it. I get it. I also think there was a lot of negativity for a while that came from like Pearl Jam doing Pink Floyd because there was somebody on this podcast that was very anti Pink Floyd and was very anti anything like 70s rock, 80s rock. So whenever Pearl Jam had anything to do with that, it was very frowned upon. And it was very frustrating for me because I wanted to try and keep things objective.
Yeah, you like it or not, you can't deny the influence that that kind of music had. Like, especially over this generation too. Like, a lot of the guys from the 80s, the 90s, they were heavily influenced by that. I mean, I get why you may not like it, but not recognizing their importance and how important it was for the musicians that we are talking about right now, or that they came after it, is just not appreciating music.
Right, and I think there was a situation, and I'm being transparent with people here because enough time has passed. There was a situation where we were talking about Ain't Talking About Love, and I'm a Hartford show guy. I love the Hartford shows, and I love those moments because those moments are special to me. And it was treated as like, what are Pearl Jam doing playing Van Halen? You know, they're above this. Van Halen is beneath them. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm not the biggest Van Halen fan. I don't sit around and like listen to 1984 or anything like that, but they're one of the most impactful rock and roll bands ever.
They are.
So how can you say that it's beneath them?
Yeah, I mean,
you don't have Mike without it.
I was gonna say, like, a lot of the influences you hear, that you listen here, like in the way that they play and the way that they perform with their instruments, they come from that. Just ignoring that or denying that is just, you just don't like music. You don't have to. You don't have to be a fan, but you got to recognize that it's a huge influence for so many people, and it's like when, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of Van Halen or any of the 80s stuff, maybe for like a few bands here and there, but I'm not gonna not recognize the impact that certain players or certain like records had over a lot of artists that I like, and not because of that I'm just gonna deny like how powerful that thing was, because it was a movement and within a movement, and you got to acknowledge that, and it is what it is.
And the talent was 100% there,
Mm-hmm.
especially from Eddie.
Yeah.
You know,
One of the most.
I hate to be Van Halening over Pink Floyd, but that's what it kind of came to.
Yeah, one of the most defining players that you could ever imagine. Like, people will put him with Stevie Ray Vaughan, Gilmore. Like, it's up there.
I think there are certain players that kind of begin a new phase of what rock and roll sounds like.
Yep.
And he brought flashiness to rock and roll in ways that, other players were flashy Like Page had his moments to be flashy,
Yeah.
but Page kept very bluesy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
He
know?
was always very, very attached to it. Um, yeah, I like that point because um, I think Eddie Van Halen, what he did too, that it was so interesting that you see that flashiness over more exclusive kind of music like metal, death metal, like it's. But then he made it massive. He
Right.
made it something
It
that
had a
people could really
mainstream appeal.
enjoy.
Mhm.
Correct. And there's a lot of skill to that. A lot of it.
Now, if you want to do this, if you want to blame Eddie Van Halen for spurning bands like Rat and Poison and Motley Crue and Cinderella
Oh, fuck Motley Crue.
and like all of those awful late 80s wannabes, you can blame him for it because
Yeah.
that's where it came from.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good records. There's some good bands out there around that time, but not Motley Crue.
No,
Motley Crue is not one of them.
they'll be honest, they weren't in it for playing music.
Yeah. Yeah. Completely hyped, overrated band. Yeah, no.
Hey, remember that Motley Crue and Pearl Jam had a feud?
Yeah.
Like,
Nikki Sixx was talking shit about the band.
yeah, even though like there were receipts on that he called "Just Breathe" one of the most beautiful songs of all time,
Yeah.
and then later said Pearl Jam was complete garbage or whatever he said.
Yeah.
It was always a tweet. Let's get back into the set here. This sounds like a very good Better Man. The crowd was singing along on that, kind of glazed over that a little bit, but Boom's hair looks perfect.
Yeah. A lot of volume. Not a lot of frizz. We're always like that.
This song still smokes all those years later.
This is heading in a really good direction too. Like right now, it's really, really going well.
Do you think this will be a full saver for later?
Ooh. I hope so. I really hope so.
Okay. Well, I know the answer to that. It might be a trick question.
That's
No,
a pretty
there's-
cool solo too.
Yeah, and there's a connection here. Like, would you be surprised if Mike and Ed just turned around and like went back to back on this with their old like little slide thing? I thought they were going to. I thought the momentum was leaning in that direction. Oh, one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14.
Yeah.
It wasn't 59 like that other time. 59, but it was probably 60.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe one of my favorite jokes ever on this podcast.
Yeah. Maybe 59 would not fit 60, yeah.
So that could have like ended a set. Could have ended a show.
I was gonna say there's no other song after this that that it can come that is not black. You
Right.
know, I was just gonna say that. Like, you can't just continue with another one. Like, you need black after this.
Mm-hmm. And this crowd's got homework to do.
Mm-hmm. They're in a rush, though. You can tell they're like, okay, let's go, song after song after song.
That's probably why there was no tag to Better Man. What was the other one that sound rushed? I don't think of it. A couple songs ago. Jeremy sounded a little rushed. I think it was that. I thought they were just picking up steam, but now that you say that, I think you're right. But I mean, like, this is going to be a 9-note version of Black, right?
And I'm all for that.
Oh, I mean, it has to be. No other choice.
One of the most impactful things that I've ever lived in my life, it was in 05. I think it was night 2. We were in Argentina. The crowd, Black is over, and the crowd just didn't stop. Oh, like for 5 minutes. Yeah, and you're like, wow, this is Ed's face. Like, you can see tears. You could see like tears, and he's just like, what is this?
You get taken aback by it for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things that I just like admire about humble musicians is that, you know, still there are going to be moments where, and it happens with this band so often, where they sit back and say, we have no idea what we did to get to this point.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel such a debt of gratitude to everybody that helped us get to this.
Yeah.
They'll tell you
It's-
there are just 5 guys on stage or 6 guys on stage there, but it's a much bigger team than that.
Yeah. I remember that Ed said something along the lines of that they feel that they had a responsibility with the music, that the songs and the sum of all of them combined were better.
Yeah.
For me, that was very like impactful. When I heard that quote, I'm like, wow. I mean, you really get it, you know.
I really wonder, and like I think it happens on small occasions, but like I wonder when their own songs affect them and
Yeah.
when they use things. And I wonder that with all different artists, like, and in certain time periods where like a song that maybe like is about a situation that is completely passed by. Like Alive is a really good example of that. The song that I think about a whole lot about, and it has nothing to do with Pearl Jam, but about its relation to the artist now as opposed to what it was back when it was written is Cover Me Up from Isbell.
Okay.
Because that's literally about his sobriety, his finding his home, and his, Amanda Skeens, who he was with and basically helped him get sober. And they divorced a year or two ago. And it's still meaningful in the way that like the crowd reacts to it. I think that Eddie speech about Alive reigns true for songs for everybody else.
Yes.
But I just wonder, like, do you use it to help you get through something? Or do you not see your music like that? Because it's like, you know, are you a fan of your own art?
You're
you know what
asking
I
me?
mean?
Yeah. Right. But I think you have to trigger emotions regardless. Like, even though that you might be writing the story as a third party or as a third person, those emotions are gonna be there and they're gonna come back. I think it's inevitable to separate both. I mean, and that's what it triggers to write something. Maybe you want to tell a story, or you want to, I don't know, maybe you just want to write something that maybe somebody else is gonna take something that it was so precious to you, and you wrote it and you put it out there, and you were brave about that, and then somebody's gonna have a different interpretation about the song, and maybe that story can be carried on and be helpful, maybe in other situations.
Right. Now this is where it just becomes, you know, the uniting band and crowd and band. Realizing that we are all different human beings and we all feel, think, act differently, but when something can bind us all together within all those differences, and it can make something like this, we have found something truly remarkable.
And it's not that hard. I mean, music is a wonderful glue, but I think once you start to realize that we have way much more in common that actually really separates us, I think that will be a big step forward.
This crowd, they're just like, no, we belong together. They're just not even letting him get the words out.
Yeah.
What do they got in their hands? Looks like they have like
Balloons.
Balloons.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was balloons or balls. If they were about to throw soccer balls at them or something. That would make any sense. Now this is the part where you just stare. Recognize how far you've come. 20 years. And the black balloons. That was definitely planned out. That's cool. That's such a cool moment. How can you not be goddamn cool?
Yeah.
Son, she said, have I got a little story for you? Yeah, what you thought was your father was nothing but a fool. While you were sitting home alone at age 13, oh, your real father was dying. Sorry you didn't see him, but I'm glad we talked.
I want some good crowd shots during this. We have not seen close to enough.
Yeah. And I can hear them though. I can hear them.
You absolutely can, yeah. But it's within the faces too. people in this crowd, like, this could have been like the first rock and roll song they ever heard.
Yeah. And lately I've been thinking a lot about, and I don't, I remember that a few years ago I watched something very powerful. I think it was social media. There was a show, I think it was '09, perhaps, or maybe 2011, I don't know. But there's, maybe you know
You
the
would
story.
remember a show from '09?
No. No.
Never mind.
No. But there was this kid with this sign that it says "Alive, Save My Life," and I can't remember which show was that, because I remember that Ed goes and I saw it somewhere, and Ed goes and just gives him a hug, and I don't know why it made me think of how people felt, like you were saying. Maybe this is the first song that they ever had a meaning. Maybe the song that they liked so much out of their first CD that they bought at some point, you know?
It could be that. It could just because, you know, how many other kids out there could have went through the same thing that Ed did?
Yeah.
Like, sadly, it's, I don't want to say it's not uncommon, but like, I can see that there are children out there that are 12, 13 years old who don't know who their father is. That is definitely common. Maybe not in the way that Ed had to find out about it, but, you know. I don't think Ed's story gets enough recognition in rock and roll. And I think it's one of the most unique frontman origin stories that there is. Because it's everything specifically happens because of what that moment was. And what the situation was, what trauma he had to deal with, and how he got it out through his music. Like, can you think of another artist that is similar to that? Maybe not have a song, but like, you know their backstory. Like, I want to say, you know who I'm thinking about? Not a rock and roll star, but Eminem.
Yeah. I was gonna say him. Yeah, kind of that tragic story when they were like growing up and they made something out of that.
It's hard to find. Like, I don't even know if Kurt Cobain has like a specific enough story like that.
Right.
Besides from he was bullied and you know, didn't get along with his parents. Springsteen, I think, has a good story.
Yeah.
His father was an alcoholic, and he was definitely neglected as a child. That's some rock and roll shit for you. What do you do after shows like this? What do you do if you're a band and you play a show like this? You say goodbye, and then what do you do after you go backstage? Do you say, I want to drink
Decompress it?
20 beers and go on, like, am I, like, Furious Energy? Or, I mean, at this point, they're probably, you know, in 2026, they're all probably going to be like, I want to go to bed.
Right, right. Jeff says something about that he can't sleep after shows because he's so pumped up.
I can't sleep after shows just by, like, and I don't waste any amount of energy that they waste out there, you know?
Right.
It takes a lot out of you. That's why
Yeah.
they don't even play back-to-back days anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, recovery times, like, they change so much. Like, when they were younger, they were able to just to get it through, but now...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this is, like, coming across a time where this is really turning point now. In 2 years, they're not going to have openers anymore. It's going to be an evening with Pearl Jam, and there's not a single show from that tour that's less than 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah. Very long runs, yeah.
Right. And they're usually closer to 3 hours than not.
And again, I think I've said it before, we are so spoiled because nowadays we can say, like, they only play 25 songs? That's longer than average already. But we
Yeah.
got so used to those 30, 33, 34 that you're just, and I want more. You know, like,
Yeah,
I want
exactly.
more. Give me more.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were so spoiled. We were so happy, and we didn't know it.
Right. Right. It was just the norm. And I think we all took advantage of it too, because we all thought that the next show would be like the show where we'd see everything, the show that, you know, all of our requests would fulfill and all of our dreams of deep cuts would be had, because they made that possible. They made you believe in all of that. And they teased you a lot too.
Yeah.
They fucked around. And I don't know what the future of that all holds. I don't know if we see deep cuts in the future, especially immediate future. I'm very intrigued what that Ohana set list is going to look like.
Yep.
I just, you know.
The new player, that whoever is going to be, is like, just to think about the catalog and everything that you have to learn, it's daunting.
The good thing for that show is that they can kind of pre-plan it
Yeah.
and say, here's 25.
Yep. Let's work on
And-
those.
Or, like, you know, maybe go a little further and say, here's 40 possible ones. And on that day, Ed, or the day before, a week before, Ed's going to put pen to paper and say, this is going to work for what we're going to do. And there'll be a lot of stories to be told and reasons why some songs get played and some songs don't. But they'll have time, too much time, honestly, to prepare for this
Yeah.
and figure out what the hell it is.
And I don't want to sound like a hater, but whenever it happens, let's say that I'm going to feel challenged again, not censored.
You keep bringing it up.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm still grieving about Matt leaving, but yeah, we'll see what happens. I'll try to be open and have an open mind, and hopefully I just
Yeah, it's been hard for me because I don't know, like my status for Ohana is, and especially when the tickets first went on sale, was completely up in the air to the fact that like my wife was like absolutely not, like that was a no, and like we both said that we wanted to try and do something for my 40th birthday, but look, I think she needs some convincing. It's
Who's Taylor Swift drummer?
what's that?
Who's Taylor Swift drummer?
No, it's definitely right now. It's Noah Khan.
Oh, okay.
Is Noah Khan going to make an appearance? No, it's all childcare. That's what it is. Like her parents are going to be away, and that does not help causes. It also doesn't help causes that we're in the first month of kindergarten when this is all happening, and that's why she's just like a very, very hard no. And I feel bad saying, well, I'll go without you, because that's going to be a fight. And I don't want to do that because we figured out this whole road trip, and she said yes to the road trip and everything like that, and I don't want to take that for granted at all.
Right.
So it's highly possible that I'm just gonna have to sit it out. And it sucks because personally I've been feeling a little left out lately from community stuff and just like, trying to see if people are still paying attention to what we're doing and stuff like that. It is tough to pry people away from whatever bullshit is out there, but it just seems to happen sometimes. But whenever you're on tour, it doesn't ever feel like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. First, I need a ticket or a press pass. Trying for both. I've put in for a press pass. You should probably do that too. I'll give you the info. But I don't know. Look, if you're listening right now, if you've stuck around this whole time, thanks. But if you're listening, keep your eyes and ears peeled for a ticket, and I might be available for it. That's all I can say. No promises. It'd probably come down to the wire. But there's also no fucking flights out there from up here. It's horrible.
You're good. One more. Safe. Everybody.
So, I believe
Indifference?
that this is a very special, something we don't see very often at all, that they did in South America a bunch on this tour. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So it's not just Indifference. I believe that this is a double closer night.
Okay.
This is Indifference into I Better. I think. I'm not even going to look at the set list. We're all going to find this out together. Unless you were at the show, then you obviously know. Crowd is definitely getting the bang of their buck. This Encore 2, outside of maybe Mother, feels like what most people would pay for a Pearl Jam show to be.
Yeah.
He'll be gone. Obrigado.
Oh, he forgot the lyrics.
He sure did. Well, okay, I got his back. Jeff's smiling like, you dick. You wrote it. It's also amazing how many songs that you write over the course of your career that you can forget stuff. You know? That was one of the things that I was going to get you and I to do as an extra video. Maybe I can convince you to do it tonight after this, but we were going to try to go through the episode library of Live on Four Legs to see if we remember something from almost every show that we covered, and maybe get people to go back and listen to those shows. Or episodes, I should say. Shows and episodes, both. But there's just a lot of stuff out there that, like, we just move on to the next so quickly that, you know. I don't know if I can convince you to do that tonight.
We'll see. We'll see.
Okay.
Until their will grows tired. Oh, I will stare the sun down until my eyes go blind. I won't change direction.
He has to be like, when he's pointing out there, he was like pointing and then giving a thumbs up. He has to be like monitoring some situation or something. I didn't see him like throw anything to the crowd.
Yeah, kind of like, are you okay? You okay?
Right. We did not get any, 3 steps back, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
That usually does happen at these shows because it's just.
You get pushed. You do get pushed. Yeah.
Yeah. Are people like easy to, if somebody falls down, will everybody like let each other up, or is it too much of a zoo?
No.
People are looking
No,
out.
yeah, somebody falls out, like they will make space for you and they will pick you up right away.
Good. Good to know. Good. When I used to go to like punk shows, and that was kind of like my first real knowledge of like what shows were like.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes nobody would ever pick you up. Sometimes you just get knocked down and you have to figure it out. And I thought all shows would be like that. I thought just music fans and people in general in the early 2000s were very much like, skate it off, bitch,
Right.
But, sometimes the crowd can come through for you. All right, so we'll find out now. They got one more in them. I think they do.
Is still gonna go get the acoustic? We'll see.
See? Where's he going? He's off camera. Yeah, Matt would have gotten up right away.
Yeah.
There we go. They all knew. This was an ink in the set, and they weren't scratching it out. I'm going to check up. I want to see if there's an actual written set list for this, because some of the 2011 ones are really hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
But thankfully, with all the documentation that we can get on the website, we have done 2011 shows. It's 2011 on liveonfourlegs.com is the latest or earliest year that you can get. And we're working on 2010, and it's a little slow, but we're working on it. Let's see here. If I go to liveonfourlegs.com, there is no set list photo in this. I was hoping there would be. But according to the notes on the website, number of songs 30, show length was 2 hours and 32 minutes. The person that wrote this write-up, John Hamilton. John's a good guy. John's been going through some stuff. I think he had gallbladder cancer. So
Yes.
I've been thinking about John lately. And if he's listening, we wish him well. He's somebody that I can see that if he has time, has the possibility to be listening. He's a great dude.
Yeah, I spent some time with him in Nashville last year.
Oh yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. We were at the ballpark one of the nights.
Oh, I didn't realize he went with you guys to that.
Yeah, no, they were there with another group of friends, and
Oh,
Alex, Tim, Aaron, and myself, we would just went there. That was the night that we ran into Josh.
yep, knew
Yeah,
that.
yeah. One of the
I
many encounters that we had that trip.
when we saw him in Chicago, I totally forgot that him and Aaron like knew each other, like talking casually, and like it didn't even think to me to be like, wait a minute, you two know each other because they were in a fantasy Pearl Jam league with one another when we were doing fantasy Pearl Jam.
I see. Okay.
Little known fact for you guys: fantasy Pearl Jam tour was how Live on Four Legs started.
Hmm.
They did that back in 2018, and that spurred into this. But yeah, John and Aaron were both in a league together, and John and Aaron were probably like, two of only a couple of people that were, chatty in the group. And when they realized, it was great. I don't know if you remember, you were definitely in the room when it happened, but when they realized like who each other were, it was like both their eyes just like lit up. It was great. I love that. That's one of my favorite things about like Pearl Jam community is it is so small that
Yeah.
at some point everybody is gonna know everybody.
Yeah.
You remember how many people we ran into in Seattle?
A lot. A lot
Yeah.
of people in Seattle. Yeah.
Some people that I didn't even know.
Yeah.
It was cool. I like doing that. I like talking to people. And having is that Corona or is that a Brazilian
I
beer?
didn't. Yeah, I didn't see it. I was suspecting that Stone was gonna grab his Heine, you know, or Stella or something like that.
Stella. Yeah, Stone's a Stella guy.
Yeah.
There are certain people that are like Stella and Heineken guys. And like my neighbor across the street is a Heineken guy. And I
Hmm.
saw him bringing in his groceries the other day and saw he had a 12 pack. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he would be a Heineken guy. Oh, and that's our set, by the way. That's the show.
Yeah.
As we've pivoted to so many other conversations. But look, 2.5 hours, you know, that's just kind of what happens. You come, the music is kind of background to banter sometimes, and it ties in. Maybe not the beer part, but you know, now is their last moment to take this audience. And one last thing before, like, we say goodbye here. How come Rio doesn't get two shows, but Sao Paulo does?
That's a really good question.
You don't know the answer?
Nope, I do not know the answer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a really good question, but it's common for other bands that they do two and two.
Right.
But Sao Paulo has always gotten two historically when in Pearl Jam runs, and Rio has gotten one.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Are they close or no?
Sort of.
Okay. Because Brazil is huge.
Yeah.
They will be back. It was Sao Paulo in 13, not Brazil, not Rio, right?
Mm, I think you may be right, or maybe it was both.
All right. Well, look, we ran through that show. That was a really, really good show. Some really good conversations about what was going on in there, as well as other conversations that kind of uh, maybe took attention away from it, but that's okay because it was on in the background. We were all listening to it. But like, any final thoughts on anything that we just watched?
Um, it's always fun to go back in time and just to relive all those memories. When you're like chasing songs and chasing the boots and all that kind of stuff when you're doing your research about what are they playing and such. For me, it's always going to be the crowd. Like I miss that. Again, no offense to the United States or the crowd here. Like the crowds here have been pretty good, but South America is something else.
Yeah. It's not comparable.
Yeah, it's just something else, you know?
And like Americans can get like passionate. They can get crazy. They can get unruly, but I don't think we can get the unison that they do.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the thing.
Hmm.
And that's the magic that they bring to the table is that they find community within everybody being there. And it just like one person does it and 50 people do it and then 50,000 people do it.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
like in America, I'm a loud singer. You've witnessed that. Many of you have witnessed that are watching this. And in the States, like, I feel like sometimes people are looking at me like I'm the worst person in the world for singing at a concert. And I'm like, this is the way it should be. I was on a Mumford and Son show once, and somebody behind me said, "Can you sit down?" I'm like, "No, I can't, and I won't."
You're most likely interrupting their conversation or their chat they had going on.
Right. And in places like Brazil, it doesn't exist.
Mm-mm.
You are all there for the same reason. You're all equally as passionate for this.
Yeah.
And I wish it was like that here a little bit
Hmm.
more. And I think we owe it to ourselves to become that a little more, but we won't. I know we won't. So, what we'll do is we'll appreciate the people that can bring it out of the band the most. And that's them. All right. Top three moments from this. What do you got? And you can go chalk if you want to. There is my rule on South American shows is if you want to go with the obvious choices, nobody is going to give a shit because that's what
Yeah.
really you should go for.
No, I my number one is pretty clear, but I'm thinking about my number two, my number three. My number three is going to be Indifference because again, it was not common for them to close with that down there at least. Uh, my number two is its Comeback because that is a song that I wanted to hear so much on that run. And my number one is going to be Black. I mean, that crowd reaction at the end is everything.
Well, that's kind of what I was saying when it came to like chalk picks. Like,
Yeah.
I, I don't remember the last time I did a South American show and didn't pick either Black or Do the Evolution.
Hmm.
I'm not picking Do the Evolution in this one, and I'll get to the reason why a little bit later, but it's something that we touched up on. My number three is going to be I Believe in Miracles. My number two is going to be Rearview Mirror. And my number one goes without saying. It's Black.
Hmm.
I mean, you do not touch that. It is untouchable. You cannot beat what crowds do on this song in South America.
Yeah.
Just hands down. It's the best. All right. Now let's get into a rating here. And, you know, look, South American shows are always going to rate very high, but let's see where this one stands.
Love how the band sounds around this time. Love the interaction with the audience. The audience, you can hear them in the back doing the entire show. Solid 9.5 for me.
Yeah, it's not up there as like the best of the South American shows, but it's close. It's
Hmm.
very close. And I think my point is still with Do the Evolution. Like that is right there. That's the bar of where your crowd is. I'm not saying that they're a bad crowd because they didn't get the full experience of Do the Evolution. I'm not saying that at all, actually. But because that all evolves and develops as time goes on. It's not quite there yet, but it's excellent as it is. All the big hits are massive, and they're meant to feel massive, and the crowd explodes on all of them. And that's what it should be. And for my money, that's enough right there. I'm giving this a 9. This is a great show. I wish I had mentioned before that there was somebody that told me that they were able to see like sound waves coming from the crowd when they were in
Mm,
this crowd. And I wish I would know what that felt like and what that seemed like. And I think if I experienced that, that would be an easy 10 because you're
right.
not getting that anywhere else. But, we do have a little bit of the let's judge it based off the bootleg. Great bootleg to listen to, but put it up with the other South American shows. I think are definitely South American shows in the coming years after this that we're going to see that blow this out of the water, you know?
Hmm.
And I have a certain type of South American show that I like. This one is very good, but, you know, those Argentinians can that are listening right now can pat themselves on the back because
Yeah.
you got a fan in me. I'll just put it that way. But I love you guys in Brazil as well. You guys were obviously amazing on this, and I hope this memory was as important for you as it is for the band. So, all right, there you have it. We watched the whole thing. It was definitely ambitious of us to do that. And I'm sure this is, I mean, I know that this is a 3 hour episode. So we're going throwback here to 2019 episodes where they were long, but it's long for a purpose and it's not long for rambling about, one song for 10 minutes apiece. So, it was a good time. And if you guys liked it and you want to see us do more of this, then please let us know. We can always put this on the schedule. It's always easy to do. And yeah, you know, anytime that we can kind of find different ways to bring you the same kind of content and present it in a different fashion, we're all for it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. As for next week, I haven't like made this full on decision yet. So look, 2012 is a weird year. It's all European stuff. We haven't covered a lot of it. I will say that. And the best of 2012 we have covered. And that would be the Amsterdam show. That was episode number 4 of this podcast. But we still have an option here. We have the Manchester show where Hitchhiker was played, the one and only performance of Hitchhiker. It's not like a special performance at all, but it definitely is the checkbox and the only time we'll ever talk about the song. There also is Rock Worker Festival. That's a festival that we've never talked about on this podcast before. It's a shorter show and kind of like a greatest hits show for sure, but that's something that we just have never talked about, and they always seem to play that festival whenever they're in Europe. There's a couple other good shows that happen around that time, but I'm like thinking between those two, and I'd rather do a European one than dig into the couple of festivals that they've done, and we've done a couple of those, I think, but not many. It's not a year we've touched up on a lot. What I will say is that there is plans to do a UK show very, very soon. For all that those people that have requested one specific show that happened in 2014, that's probably happening for that year. So should we just do Rock Worker? What do you
Let's
think?
just do it.
Okay. I know a couple people that would probably be pretty happy that we are doing a Rock Worker show. So
Okay. Even
that's what
better.
we'll do. We'll save Hitchhiker for another time. We're not going anywhere. So it doesn't need to happen right now. But that's what's gonna happen next week. So we are just chopping away at this. More and more years to come. after 2012, 2013 is a big year for them. 2014 is another good year. And then we'll be back to South America in a couple of weeks when it comes to 2015. And then we'll really get to find out what that evolution is once we get to that point. We'll find a good show and really hunker down with how good that crowd is. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to do. There's so much still to do. And we hope that you guys have been enjoying all the stories that have come along with celebrating this band. And that's as simple as we can put it right there. So, all right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. If you are not subscribed to our YouTube, please just do it now. All you got to do is just click a button and boom, it's done. And then if you want to, go to Spotify or go to Apple Podcasts and click a button there and boom, it's done. You're subscribed. That's all you got to do. Hit the subscribe button. And if you want to take it a little bit further, you think we deserve it, then leave us a comment, rate us, anything you can. And we hope it's in the most positive light as humanly possible because that helps us. It helps get the name out there. It helps the algorithm push us and think that we're important enough because the social media algorithm doesn't even think that. So might as well get it on the actual podcast where it matters. So if you guys do that, if you guys help us out, that would be a big help. And we thank you all for your continued support. And hopefully you enjoyed this one as we move along to the next year for next week. So, with that being said, this may be the end. We're here, but not for much longer. And although we may be parting ways, miss you already and miss you always. Javi, any final words?
See you next week or in the next couple of weeks.
Those are a couple words for sure.
Yep.
I'll say a couple here for next week. We will see you on the pod.
See ya.